Everything's ready to. All right, let's call this meeting to order. This is a Doraville City Council meeting being held on Wednesday, March 11th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at Doraville City Hall. Please take this time to silence your cell phones. Doraville is proud to be a city of civility. While differences of opinion are natural, let us approach each other with open minds, speak with courtesy, and treat each other with dignity and respect. Respect is the foundation of good governance, and we thank you for upholding the spirit of civility with us. I will call the roll. Mayor Geierman, I am here. Councilmember Simmons? Here. Councilmember Nasser? Here. Councilmember Ray? Here. Councilmember Henshaw? Here. Councilmember Evans? Here. Councilmember Armistead? All right, we have a quorum. I'd like to ask everyone in the room to please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Councilmember Henshaw, would you make a motion to approve tonight's meeting agenda?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve tonight's meeting, but with the removal of item B from discussion items.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. And so I would like to turn over the meeting for a few minutes to Chief Atkinson, who has a special presentation this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. We'd like to recognize 4 of our officers tonight with the Life-Saving Medal. If the officers would please come up. We have 2 different incidents that are resulting in life-saving medals being awarded tonight. I'm going to read a synopsis of each, and then we'll do the medals. On November 20th, 2025, at approximately 4:13 a.m., officers responded to a serious motor vehicle collision on Interstate 285 eastbound near Beaufort Highway involving a head-on collision. The crash involved 2 vehicles, and one of them was actively on fire. When Lieutenant Stansberry arrived, he quickly assessed the scene and discovered multiple occupants trapped inside a vehicle that was in immediate danger of being overtaken by flames. Recognizing the urgency and the number of victims involved, he immediately requested DeKalb Fire Rescue and multiple ambulances. Lieutenant Stansberry then used a fire extinguisher to slow the spread of the fire while rescue efforts began. Officers Nunez and Shoemate arrived moments later and joined him in the rescue. As conditions rapidly deteriorated, Lieutenant Stansberry and the officers worked together to remove all occupants from the second vehicle, getting them safely out of the vehicle just moments before that vehicle became fully engulfed in flames. Their decisive actions, coordinated response, and willingness to place themselves in harm's way were critical to the rescue of all surviving occupants. First award will be presented to Officer Shoemate. Second medal to Officer Nunez. And our third to Lieutenant Stansberry. Good job, guys. Now we'll move to our second incident, of which all of these 3 were also participants in addition to Officer Romanello. If you please join them. On January 24th, 2026, at approximately 12:46 a.m., Officers Nunez, Shoemate, Romanello, and Lieutenant Stansberry responded to a house in the 4000 block of Clay Drive following a report of an unresponsive newborn baby. When they entered the residence, they located a newborn infant who was unresponsive and not breathing. Officer Shoemate immediately checked for a pulse and found none. Without hesitation, Officer Shoemate began CPR, administering chest compressions, while a friend of the newborn's mother provided rescue breaths. At the time, Officer Nunez and Lieutenant Stansberry worked to stimulate the infant by gently rubbing the baby and moving the infant's arms and legs in an effort to prompt a response. During these efforts, Lieutenant Stansberry observed blood pooling behind the infant and recognized that the umbilical cord had been cut but not clamped. He quickly retrieved a sterile clamp from an unopened package and secured the cord to stop the bleeding. After approximately 7 cycles of CPR, the officers detected a faint pulse. Officer Nunez and Officer Romanello then continued CPR until DeKalb Fire Rescue arrived on scene and took over medical care. Mother and baby were transported to Northside Hospital for treatment and evaluation. We are very happy to report that as of today, mom and baby Jalen are doing well and are actually here with us today. Thank you very much for coming. Because of these officers' quick thinking, coordinated response, and life-saving actions, a newborn child is alive today. Our first life-saving medal is awarded to Officer Romanello. Second for this incident to Officer Nunez. Next, Officer Shoemate. And lastly, Lieutenant Stansberry. This concludes our ceremony. Thank you very much for your time.
We're good? You want? Sure, yeah. You want us to stand up? Yeah. And get closer together? Thank you, guys.
Being amazing.
Good job. Thank you very much. We're just going to pause the meeting for about a minute so that people can All right, we'll call the meeting back to order. And next item on the agenda is public comment. So I can't see the monitor, so I don't know who's got their hand raised, but I'd like to invite anyone in the room first to come on up. State your name, where you live, and you can have up to 3 minutes to speak.
Susan Crawford Oak Cliff. Now everything seems so unimportant. After that, that was a really moving tribute. But I did want to say, I noticed on the agenda that you're considering tonight, apparently, waiving the fees for 3 months for home improvements. I just want to say, I think that's a fantastic idea. I know people in other states who have said this has worked really well for their neighborhoods. And I think any financial loss will be more than made up with the improvement of the neighborhoods and the tax going up, base going up. I just think it's a great idea. Also, not to be a wet blanket, but we're still having a lot of problems on Oak Cliff Road with these huge trucks just barreling through, and now they're going through red lights. Maybe they always were, but I was almost killed the other day coming out of my neighborhood. Something told me to not go. And if I had gone on the green light, I would have been dead, but I didn't go, and I'm here to complain, but something really has to be done. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the chambers? Is there anyone with their hand raised? I think I see a hand raised. I can't see who it is. So if we can pull them over, and then once you unmute, state your name and where you live. Is that Tom?
Yes, can you hear me?
Now we can. Yes.
Okay. I'm trying this on my phone. There's something wrong with my home computer, so I can't talk on that. Anyway, there's several things. One is the 90-day permit fee waiver. I think that's real important. We used to do that in the city of Doraville, help homeowners to improve their neighborhoods. And, we're giving all these deals to these large construction projects and, charging $2,500 instead of $100,000 for fees. We need to do the same thing DeKalb County does. And also DeKalb County helps seniors with trees and that kind of thing. There's all kind of help from DeKalb, but there's little coming from the city of Doraville to improve the neighborhoods. And I think this is an important step. Second thing is Chestnut needs to be paved. I know you're shoveling all the money into the annex area, but there's potholes and divots all over Chestnut. It's scheduled to be paved, and they need to do that. There's a sign area that Gordon Heights was supposed to get a sign put up. Instead, the city of Doraville stuck a bike lane sign in the location. And there's street lights on Chestnut that also need to be put up. But I think the 90-day waiver is an important step in trying to improve the city and give homeowners a chance to fix things in their house and improve the quality of life here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And for the record, that was Tom Hart. So I think that's all we have on. Okay. All right, we are going to move to the consent agenda. We're going to pause for just a minute while we take care of a technical thing. For the council to be able to see what's being shown. All right. Would anyone like to make a motion regarding the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Next up, we have our interim city manager, Chuck Atkinson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just wanted to give a quick update regarding what's been going on. Regarding the city center update, we are still working through the LDP process with DeKalb. As I've mentioned previously, this takes time, but I hope we are getting closer. And I do think we are getting closer. We are responding to their comments. that they send to us. I don't want to project a timeline anymore, but I hope it is soon. And we are hopeful, and we're doing everything we can to get that done. A big thank you to our city clerk, Chantay, for applying through the congressionally directed spending program to Senator Warnock's office for some infrastructure money to improve Asian roadways and pedestrian access throughout our city, to include the newly annexed areas as well as the Invest Doraville redevelopment area, redevelopment district. China is happy with where we are with the audit right now. And she said for the first time in a long time, we're going to be on time and we're not going to be late. So that's kudos to our finance team. Emily advised me that the physical newsletter will be sent out soon.
It's already gone out.
I'm sorry, you already got
I've
it?
gotten it.
Okay, all right. I know that that some of them were sent out, but I don't know that it went everyone, but that's great. All right, good deal. More applications for some money through the Community Development Department. Austin applied also through the congressionally directed spending program. Senators Ossoff and Warnock's office for funds to create some construction documents for the Peachtree Creek Greenway project. And they will be also submitting an application to the Georgia Department of Natural Resources Recreational Trails Program for the Chicopee Trail. Public Works had the bid opening today for our paving projects for the year. RFP was sent out based on our previous assessment, and Chris looks to have an agenda item next week to finalize our paving project for the year. Court, we finally transitioned to the courtware, and staff is getting trained on that. So we're thankful that transition has finally occurred. And as you are aware, in the library, Sloan is leaving us. She has some other opportunities. We hate to see her leave, but wish her well with her new opportunities. Parks and Rec, Kim reported today that we have received $1,000 from the GRPA initiative grant for a program called So You Think You're Grown. Through GRPA, its purpose is to help young adults ages 18 to 25 learn essential life skills like budgeting, renting, and workforce readiness as they transition into adulthood. And Kim is also applying for 2 additional grants through AARP, one helping with crosswalks near our parks, and the other for technology for our seniors. Code enforcement has been busy. They issued several citations on Maryland Drive for boarding houses, as well as an unpermitted tree removal off of Live Oak. I spoke with Lizzie earlier, and we do have court coming up on the Roman Holiday Spa case, so that's forthcoming. The police department announced that we will be conducting active threat training for all of our city employees. That's something that we've done at our other location, and we are going to continue it here, just making sure that all of our employees know what to do in the unfortunate circumstance that something happens here, and where to go and what to do. So we look to put that on with all of our employees in the near future, as well as CPR and AED training. And also through the police department, we applied for a grant through the Project Safe Neighborhoods program, the Gun Violence Reduction Equipment Grant Program. This is administered through the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council in conjunction with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Georgia. It's a reimbursable grant for $37,000 for equipment that we can put to use. And last but not least, Assistant Chief Brian Harris is retiring. We will miss him, obviously, but his retirement is well-deserved. I can't thank him enough for the excellent job that he did as our Assistant Chief. His support and advice was invaluable to me, and I will miss him. But I'm happy to report, as you saw earlier, Jason Dayette has been promoted to the Assistant Chief role, and he will do a great job. So that's my report, if there are any questions. March 15th. Very soon. Right. Yeah, we're having at his request, a small, I hope he's not watching, gathering on the 19th, if you're available, to come by. It's on a Thursday at 12 o'clock. Obviously, he didn't want a lot of fanfare or anything like that, but we do feel like it is important that we recognize him. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
help our residents. And I want to thank you, you and all of our police departments, all of our employee who are doing a great job. I appreciate that. Concern. I want to talk about there was a new body cam came out with a translation on like multiple languages. Do you think we can check on that? It's actually by Exxon.
We're in the process of doing some testing, and when we get back to the budget season, our contract is up for renewal, so that is something that we are exploring. So yes, we will look into that.
Thank you. Also, I've seen some of those flock cameras. They're down actually on the floor. Someone actually ran them over throughout the city. I know we have some, we are considering to keep it or not. I'm not sure what's going on, but
We have work orders out to make some repairs.
okay.
I know that I don't know exactly on the locations that we have, but I do get emails that say that a work order has been created, and I've gotten several of those.
On McElroy, actually, when you go into the right, is down on the floor. Someone ran him over, but just continuously, it's just done. We probably had to put a new one or something. That's all for now. If I have more questions, I'll come back. Thank you.
Councilmember Henshaw?
You look good in 2 stars. Can we get a publishing of I know it was released at some point, but can you republish the roads that are getting done and what the timing on those will be for the various roads now that they're out for bid? Oh, no, not now. Just to send them an email. I'll get them out to people that have been asking about what.
Yes,
obviously, we've got the annexation to area. So, and then obviously the LDPs are a sticking point. I just, whatever we can do in the future to smooth things over, to try to accelerate that process we're going to be going through phase 2 and phase 3, and there's going to be more LDPs that are going to need to get filed. So I don't know if it's an internal review process or a partnering process or but whatever we can do. I'm happy to sit down, talk to the people I know, and just see what we can do to just make it a more efficient process. I don't think it's any one particular person's fault, but there's some sticking point somewhere that, time is money. So, but we'll get there. I'm looking forward to moving forward. So thanks. That's it.
And Chief, I just point out, like Doraville is not the one doing the LDP, it's DeKalb County.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's with DeKalb, and DeKalb has been great working with us, but
We have people in the CEO's office helping us get this through. It's just going through their bureaucracy is a challenge. And some of this is, if there's going to be a fix, it's got to come from.
absolutely. And I do want to say, share that the CEO's office has been amazing. We wouldn't be at this point where we're at without that, without her office. So,
Definitely appreciate the CEO. Councilmember Simmons.
Thanks, Mayor. So you think you're grown, huh? I bet you my wife probably would say I could benefit from that program or grant. Wonder if they accept anyone over 21 in their 40s. So I'll ask Kim. No, I think you covered it all. I greatly appreciate it. My curiosity is killing me, and I've probably forgotten. You probably said something on email or said it before, but the interior package and all the stuff with City Center, with which way we're going in restrooms, is that all coming together where we're going to have another meeting? Because I'm probably overlooked something, but could you fill me in?
that's been sent to Choate. And we'll have two options.
Gotcha.
That
So they're pricing it right now.
right.
Okay.
Absolutely. Or the GMP.
Okay, but MPS, they've gotten all their stuff and now Choate's getting the price. And once they get that, go back to you guys, then you'll bring it to us and we'll talk about it. That's sort of the problem. Okay, good. That's what I thought. I was trying to refresh my memory and also greatly appreciate it. No, that's it. I think you covered it all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Councilmember Evans.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief, this is all great news. So thank you for all the positive news. And the only thing I could add is I love the grants. Is there any possible grants we can capture more for parks equipment and also maybe more just the equipment, updating it throughout our parks, things of that nature?
Well, I will certainly get with Kim and have her explore that.
I just signed a grant request for park.
Oh, great.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. I didn't know that.
Was Kim sent it to me today, and
Oh.
so I don't remember what the exact grant was, but
news.
I would say she's on it.
We have applied for a lot. Actually, one of the things that I communicated to everyone, let's try to get that funding if we can.
Okay. Perfect.
So yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Ray.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Chief. That was very detailed. You mentioned Lizzie sent out some citations for boarding houses. I know those are typically pretty hard to go after. Has she found kind of a new angle, or was this result of kind of working on something for a while?
It's just something that while they were out, they came upon it, and I'm not sure of the details,
Sure.
but I know that there was 4 on one road, and one was quite egregious,
Okay,
what I remember.
gotcha. Well, that's great. Please thank her for that. And then I saw that Resia had withdrawn any variance requests. We haven't seen any plans. Have we had any communication from them whatsoever? Okay. That's it for me. Thank you.
Councilmember Armistead.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. I did just want to thank you and the department for helping me run off the AT&T salespeople the other day. And as long as I have the mic, just remind people that that is illegal in Doraville unless you're an existing customer of whatever company it is that's coming to your door. So if they show up and you don't want them there, you can call the police and the police will help. Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Henshaw has another.
Yeah, sorry, I have one additional thing. In Northwoods, we've been having some issues with ATV and off-road vehicles riding through private property and as well as on streets. There's some kids as young as like 4 or 5 years old riding ATVs on the streets. Some of them don't have helmets. It's very dangerous. I don't know what, it's not anybody arrested or anything, but I just think the safety awareness isn't there. And also, I don't think they understand that they're riding on private property. They're riding back behind Sequoia Woods on that land trust area. So it's very loud. It's very noisy. They're doing it in mud. It's destroying the ecosystem, and it's something that needs to be brought to their attention and just carefully corrected if possible. So, and also obviously if there's kids riding around without helmets, it's just really dangerous. So I just want to make sure people are safe. Thank you.
And Councilmember Nasser also has another thing.
Chip, on the Stewart Road, those apartment complex, the parking issue we had, someone actually showed me that someone come to the on the sidewalk and put his grill and start grilling. So someone has a video. I told that a person to send it to me so I can bring it to the council. They said they will send it, but I haven't received it yet, but that's what someone was doing. When they see our enforcement or someone, they just take off or they hide it. They always go behind they park their vehicle on the street, then they do the grilling, so no one can see it. They're not selling it. They're just grilling it on the sidewalk, but they lives in the apartment. It's really strange. I haven't.
No, they have grills there.
It's about a good size. No.
I mean, I would imagine people aren't allowed to grill on sidewalks, so.
And
Parking.
parking.
It seems like it'd be hard to rush that off if a police officer rolled up.
Right. So, but he parks his vehicle and there's other vehicle, so he kind of hides himself out the view. So that's what's happening, and residents actually complained about it. And the traffic issue still, they said if we can do anything about the traffic, they are having issues turning right, left, and it's very less visibility because of the parking.
Is that your item?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. I think that's it, Chief. Thank you. All right. Mr. LaFleur, you're up next.
Good evening, everyone. I'll try my best to see this. I'm getting older, so it's getting a little harder. I don't know if those are mine. Let me make sure. All right, so just coming back before you all tonight just to go over the neighborhood speed study and recommendations. This is from last month. We went over this. So in these slides, I'm just going to kind of touch on some of the things we talked about last month and kind of share some of the recommendations, and we'll go from there. So this is one of the test sections here, English Oak Drive. The average speed on that road was 24 miles per hour, about 17,000 vehicles analyzed, and less than 3% of enforceable violations on that road. What we're recommending here, even though technically not a speeding problem, what we did indicate was there's some school bus stops out in that area, and this is the intersection of English Oak Drive and Windsor Oak. This is coming from Buford Highway, so we're recommending just stop signs, stop bars over there, and this is just another image of what it could look like on the opposite side there on English Oak and Windsor Oak Drive. Another section that we checked out was Chestnut Drive. This is Chestnut and Raymond. The average speed, 30 miles per hour. Fastest speed recorded, 78 miles per hour. Possibly PD, not sure. Less than 1% of enforceable violations in this area. And this spot specifically is kind of right before you heading down the hill, heading towards Haviland Lane. We also on Chestnut Drive, we checked out the area near the community gardens. Average speed, 34 miles per hour. Enforceable violations, 332. That's less than 1%. So again, not necessarily speeding issues based on the studies, but like we talked about last month, the perception of people speeding is what we're trying to tackle at this point. So our recommendations in this area, starting all the way up from Pineland Avenue, we're talking about putting up some flashing stop signs at Pineland. This is what it could potentially look like there. This is just another angle of it. We're also considering a flashing slow sign. This is right before you're heading down the hill towards Haviland Lane. This would be a flashing slow. And as you continue on, this is McClave Drive and Chestnut, flashing stop signs there as well. This is near the painted crosswalks, and this is what it would potentially look like on the opposite end as well. And down by the community gardens, as we talked about before, we talked about some delineators, removable speed humps right before you approach the crosswalks. And again, this isn't too grade. This is just me and my art. I'm actually very proud of that. That's pretty good. Just kind of giving you guys an idea of what it could potentially look like out there. So this isn't exactly what it would look like. That's not exactly the amount of delineators we would have out there. Just wanted to give you guys somewhat of an image. So this is another look at that, and another look from another angle of what it could look like. And as you move a little further along on Chestnut, near Chestnut Woods, we're looking at some speed and radar signs installed there, just because it's a long stretch between Aztec heading towards the community gardens. So I think that's a good fit for it there. So the estimated cost for this, right under $13,000. As you guys know, yesterday's price isn't today's price, so I can't guarantee the price. I spoke to some vendors, and they are talking about tariffs and things like that. So I just want to make sure I shared the estimated cost on that. And again, we have budgeted, I think, $20,000 for some improvements throughout the city. So if there's any other things that we want to do throughout that wasn't included, we could definitely explore those options as well. Any questions?
Yeah. Do you mind, like, while we talk, like, to just leave up the cost part?
Sure.
So one speed limit radar sign is $4,000.
$4,000. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are options. So you can get them a little less. They have some all the way up to like $7,000. But
I guess I would just say that if we're doing one, I would like to maybe try another one. I realize it ups the cost, but on Homeland Drive, because I hear a lot of people basically saying they feel like it's become a cut through. Someone who lives on Homeland Drive sitting here nodding, but it's become a cut through for people kind of racing to get to Winter's Chapel.
Gotcha.
So I would really suggest we just look at just another way to remind people to slow down.
Okay.
My other question on Chestnut, where you're talking about the little stakes.
Yeah.
I get, my only question is, like, how much more would it be if we tried to actually create a bike lane for that portion to shift the road over a little bit so that, you're staking out enough for someone to actually be able to ride a bike there?
You mean like a protected bike lane?
Yeah, because honestly, most of that stretch, there's no driveways if you did it on the south side of that street.
Yeah, we could explore that as well.
And if it didn't cost that much more, I think that might make it a little bit, you're giving something in addition to, like, putting up these weird stakes. At least you're giving a bike lane and we can see how that actually works. So that'd be my recommendation. But why don't we start with Councilmember Ray?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. You actually touched on a few of the things I was going to bring up. For Homeland, I know we've received an email recently about that too, a perception of speeding and people speeding along that road. I'm not sure. I mean, I'd be interested in knowing how effective we think the radar signs are. 4,000 is, is a lot of that budget. How much did you say we've budgeted for this?
20,000, I think we set aside for some
Yeah.
safety improvements.
Okay. So that's like 20% of our budget for one thing. I'd be curious if maybe flashing slow signs instead of a radar might be almost as effective. Maybe a flashing stop sign in Homeland as well. As far as the delineators go, I don't know if there's a certain cutoff where we get sort of a bulk discount or something, but I want to echo what the mayor said with protected bike lanes. I mean, eventually I know we want to reline that Chestnut intersection with Beaufort Highway. That's going to be the main connection people use to get downtown. If we could have a bike lane there that then lets people cross to get, I think looking forward, that would be a very good way to add that mobility and set that up. So I'd be interested in that as well. Yeah, the mayor beat me to everything else. So thank you.
And Councilmember, I guess my only comment about the flashing stop sign, I think about the way I drive, and I'm not like speeding that fast down a road, but sometimes if I see one, I'll slow down to like go under the
Mhm.
make a smiley face instead of
Right.
the frown.
Yeah, I get that they can work. I wonder for people who are like egregiously speeding through a neighborhood, how effective it is.
Maybe not for those people.
Yeah, and if we had a much larger budget, I think they are great, but we have a lot of kind of areas we want to focus on. So that's my main concern. If there's studies that you found and you think it's the best path forward, I definitely trust your research and expertise on that. That was just my comment. It's 20% of the budget for one sign. And, you know, if a flashing slow sign gets us 80% of the way there for people thinking maybe it's, oh, I should slow down a little bit. Maybe that's as
I
effective.
think people feel like if they're being watched, like
Yeah.
that's showing something is watching you, although it's not actually.
Can we put up a sign that says you're being watched, like
Good.
cameras watching or something? But I don't know. I'll leave it up to everyone else too. I'm not against it. It's just such a large chunk of the budget.
I
We have a
understand.
lot of
I
areas.
understand. Councilmember Armistead.
Thank you. So we have, because there's a sign now, a radar sign on Chestnut and
Yeah, those are removable. The PD utilizes that and they can kind of bounce them around as needed throughout the city. What I'm looking to install is just something that's fixed there. Yeah.
many of those do we have right now?
Oh, we don't have any.
For the one that's.
Oh, the PD, I think we have two. Yeah, two.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that one popped up not too long ago.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, it was there yesterday. Anyway, okay. So that's a different thing. The second speed hump on your list, I remember the one on Chestnut. Where's the second one?
Both are on Chestnut,
They're-
just going, either was that east and west?
Okay, gotcha. Like that. I like all of these ideas. I do want to pay attention to Homeland where we can, because we've gotten some comments about that. Residents, either with stop signs or
Yep.
whatever we can do there. And then another comment I got was about English Oak. So the one stop sign at
Yeah,
Windsor Oak.
Yeah.
is there a possibility of a second stop sign? Like at Darlington, a few blocks later, because that's a really long stretch.
I don't see why not. I'll just have to make sure there's no driveways or anything like that in the way, but yeah.
Like,
Okay.
other than that, I think this looks great.
Thank you. Councilmember Simmons.
Thanks, Mayor. Thanks for the report, Chris. The radar sign, I'm assuming it's solar.
Yes.
Cool.
They do- excuse me. They do have wired in options,
No,
just a little more expensive, and then you have to get an electrician to
no.
solve it. So I'm just throwing it out there. That's why the range is.
No, it's fine. No, like solar is fine. It's going to do the job. You know, if you got to replace it or it gets hit, you're not replacing everything else with it. So, speed bump, is it going to be permanent or is it one of the
These
temporary
are
ones?
The temporary ones that we
Okay.
talked about before. And again,
'Cause that's what the picture looked like. I just, you
Yeah,
said you were
yeah.
feeling
that was the best I could do.
No, you did a good job.
You didn't have
It's a little curved, but looks good. Because yeah, I mean, you're gonna get a lot of complaints about those are the ones that are gonna blow out their tires and all that stuff. Did we find the ones that are more
Yeah, we found a
tabletop?
couple different options.
Can we do that? Because that's more of the option I think we'd go with. I think council was saying about speed bumps, like the ones on Tilly Mill. Obviously, those are bigger.
Oh, those
But-
are speed tables. That's different. Those are
But
those.
these speed bumps aren't like,
these
we can't do a
speed
mini
bumps are like
speed
a
table.
Black and yellow set piece. You'll drill them into the roadway, and if we want to remove them, just jump out there and we can remove them. What
Do
you're
they-
referring to is speed tables that are out on.
Do they have any movable speed tables?
Not like that.
Well, I mean, not that big, but I mean, it's a smaller scale, obviously.
Yeah, you could still get one it's still a little tapered off. It's just not going to be as large.
Right.
Yeah, but
Well, I don't, maybe we could talk about that, see if we'd rather do that option than one of these speed humps or speed hump. Because I think you're gonna get, well, you get a lot of complaints, but it just how it's like, oh, my tire blew out or something, you know? Anyway, sorry. We'll talk about that, I guess. Delineators, love it. I like the bike lane idea from you guys. Can we put some at Hightower? I know Chief talked about it previously. Just some right there to block them from crossing over the double line to go in.
Okay.
And when they exit out, so it sort of directs the flow of traffic. We have police officers there. We talked about it last month. It's just a few. And then, oh, that's if everyone's okay with that, of course. And I know we talked previously about signs on some of our streets or on one side about no parking in certain areas with smaller streets. Did we discuss any of that for any of this or no?
I don't think
We
it's
try.
this conference.
Okay. That'll be another conversation. Thank you.
Right, Councilmember Evans.
Thank you, Mayor. Mini roundabouts, I'm gonna take is that potentially a better option in some of these areas versus, I'm counting the signs here in this estimated cost, 8 signs. Would a mini roundabout solve this?
Not in those locations.
And be less expensive on an annual basis with maintenance and taking care of the signs?
Are we talking about the temporary ones that we did, or are we talking about permanent? Yeah, permanent, I would say you're still looking at a decent cost. It would definitely take just a little bit more time, making sure you have the right limits, things like that. But for the areas that we're referring to right now, many roundabouts wouldn't work out in those spots.
What about a Homeland?
I mean, we had them out there. I don't think it's like some people loved them, some people hated them. I don't think that's gonna kind of solve the issue either over there.
I'm in favor of the speed tables for that street because I do get a lot of complaints
Speed tables at the stop.
at the stop sign.
Yeah.
And even at Winners Chapel, because there's a lot of trucks that enter and exit from there.
And I heard flashing stop signs at Homeland, or am I? Yes.
Mhm.
And then have any grant opportunities been looked at so far for this?
I mean, we look at them, they're not always available. I mean, that you guys might remember the RRFB grants that we received. I mean, so we're always looking for the free stuff for sure. Nothing out there right now.
That is it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Nasser.
Okay, $4,000, it is a bit too much. Let's use our money wise. I agree with him. Councilmember Ray, I rather have flashing stop sign, probably multiple places. Also, I wanted to see if we can add, there's no type of signs on English Oak where the park is, says there's a park, children at play, or drive safe. We need a safety measure on that street because children are constantly playing. Residents are using, and there's no type of sign or no type of straps. There's nothing, no safety measurement at all on that for that park.
Okay.
So I would really appreciate it if you guys can focus on that one, please.
I will look into it.
Second thing, Homeland. I also spoke to Chief about it. See if we can have an officer. Only there's probably 2 or 3 problematic area where we have a speeding issue. I would say one is Homeland, definitely, people cut through. Second is Edison Drive and McLeave and Chestnut. So these are 4 problematic area where people just constantly speed.
I would just to interject a little bit, I would say we do get complaints out of those areas, but we did conduct studies on Homeland and the results were pretty much the same. I think it's not necessarily a speeding problem. I think it was more people running the stop signs and things of that nature.
Yeah, if possible, if we can have an officer sit out time by time whenever it's possible. It's not like, you know,
But I would also say like this is a conversation about the safety improvements. So we
Gotcha.
want to give
Gotcha.
him feedback on that because
okay.
Chief Atkinson can take care of the police matters, but make sure Chris
Gotcha.
can't talk
And
about
I
this.
understand. I'm just speaking generally. So, I appreciate it. I actually, I kind of idea not spending $4,000 for one sign. We rather have flashing light signs, stop signs, multiple places, and speed hump. Speed hump. I'm not sure how effective it's going to be since it's temporary. I also agree with Councilman Warren that people are going to complain about their tire bust and this and that. If there's no issue, but they will make up an issue and then come back to the city for reimbursement. And that's,
Tough sell.
I just don't want more to be a burden of our city, you know. We need to use our money otherwise. Thank you.
Councilmember Henshaw?
Thanks. Yeah, the delineators, they're not super expensive. Obviously, once you install them, and I know they bend, they're supposed to bend. Do you have to like replace the entire thing if they break, or can you like
No,
unscrew a thing and put
They
a
sell
new?
them separately. So the way it works, they sell a base and they also
Post.
sell just a stick. So two options to install. You can either do an adhesive, which not the biggest fan of just because over the summer they melt, or you can drill them in. So we'll probably end up drilling them.
So, just make sure we order some extras because I know that you drive everywhere and they start off great and then within a year they're down to 3 sad looking ones that are kind of, but I do like them. And even those were originally, we restriped those roads to be bike lanes. So anything we can do to make them protected bike lanes would be great. I don't know if there's a bulk ordering where if you order 100 of them, you're going to get a significant discount. Probably not. Yeah, I know. And I know that you have to go through the procurement process as well. You can't just go buy them off of Alibaba because that's
Well, it depends on how much you're buying, but yeah.
And then and it is just anecdotal, but the other day I was driving home in the evening, and luckily I was paying attention because I was between the 2 speed bumps on Addison, and somebody literally jumped out in front of my car, and I had to slam on my brakes, and he started screaming at me, yelling at me to slow down. I was doing 19 miles an hour because I was literally coming off of one speed bump, about to go into the other one. And when I asked him for his name, he said, "I'm Mr. Bite Me." And so if Mr. Bite Me is listening, please don't jump in front of cars, because if I hadn't actually been paying attention, he would have been hit. He was walking his dog. And I get that he's trying to slow people down, but that is exceptionally dangerous and really, 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 quite frankly, stupid. If there are people that are speeding, just call the police, but it's more of a perception problem than it is a speeding problem. We have no longer anecdotal evidence. We have massive amounts of data that show that aside from the police department, who may be running excessively to a call, most people aren't actually speeding. That doesn't mean they're distracted driving is obviously there. People run stop signs all the time. It's people's mailboxes get hit. We know that, but don't put your own life in danger just to try to slow somebody down because you think they're speeding through your neighborhood. It's just really, really dangerous. So hopefully he's listening and doesn't make that mistake twice. So that's it. Thanks.
Okay. I guess I'll just weigh in on the speed bump because the point is to slow people down. That'll slow people down if they know it's there. And I would just say we would need to put some warnings ahead of time. Like,
Yeah, we anticipate that. I didn't mention that just because we have those signs already on hand, so it's easy install.
Okay, Councilmember.
Yeah, I had one more question after listening. You said you were going to put the mini speed table, whatever we want to call it, whatever we decide, at the stop sign. Is that what
No.
I heard?
This is, it's near the crosswalk at the community garden. So before you approach it, you'll be forced to go through the delineator, speed hump.
Or like your picture and all. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was going to say, I was like, they're already stopping. Don't stick it there, please. The other one is like, obviously, Granger, super expensive. McMaster Car is a great local place that has a lot cheaper options. Look at McMaster Car.
Talk.
Yes.
MasterCard, yeah.
Way cheaper. No
Okay.
Granger ever.
That everybody? All right.
Just
Yeah.
one more thing. I just want to make sure, do we not want the speed radar sign? The speed radar? That one? We don't want that.
I'm fine with it.
I personally would like to see it, but
Okay,
I'm fine with it.
We need to move it on.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't like it there, you could move it. It's not ideal.
I think
staked in, but you can.
it sounds like no one wants another one right now, but maybe just this first one.
Yeah, I'm fine with one.
I would recommend looking at maybe Alibaba overseas.
I'll look at other
serving.
options. I just want to make sure I give everybody like a realistic number. But we're I might get it for 35. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
We can see how it does too.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So now we have Chief Atkinson coming back with some streetlight locations.
Mayor and Council, this is a continuation of a topic we discussed on February the 11th at our council meeting then regarding the need for streetlights in some of our neighborhood streets. At that time, we were instructed to go back and return with recommendations. We are actually doing a streetlight study, but I wanted to come before you tonight and show you two locations. After speaking with Chris LaFleur, we've identified these two locations that will be a good area for our solar-powered lights that were approved in the budget for this year. And these two locations is Jamestown Court and Revere Court down in the cul-de-sac of both locations. There are no lights in those areas at all. So we identified these two locations. There's no tree canopy, get good sunlight, and we feel like that'd be a good use of those lights. So I just like your feedback if we should
I mean,
move forward.
is there anyone against this? Do we have questions? Okay, Councilmember.
Not against it, just, are the stars a true representation of the placement or just kind of corridor?
It's yeah, right close to that. Yeah, absolutely.
The one on, I guess this is Jamestown Court to the left.
Yes.
I know that cul-de-sac is pretty dark back there. So is that going to shine in someone's window or can it go back further possibly?
It'll be pointing into the cul-de-sac. I don't think it's going to shine into their window. That was just the best way to try it. Really, if you push it further towards the back where the dumpster is, I keep pointing like you guys know what I'm pointing at. Sorry.
You see.
But if you put it a little further back, the canopy is a little bit too much. And in terms of the locations, we already have, what do you guys call those? Raven. We already have Raven cameras, so we know we're within the right of way. I'll still do locates again before we dig, but it'd be an easy install to put those in there. And the complaints that we've been receiving, I don't know if you guys get any calls on this, with the trash situation with the dumpsters there, it's just so dark, people can't even, they get nervous throwing out trash at night. So
Gotcha.
trying to light up those areas.
And these are solar panel, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is it too dark that they're not going to get the sun some days, in your opinion, and not have light at all?
No. That you get no canopy.
No
in this
canopy.
area. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I must have misheard you.
Gotcha. That's it. Thank you.
Any other questions over here on this side? Councilmember.
Is the angle tweakable at all once you install them if somebody complains about the light? Okay, good.
Any questions? Councilmember Bray?
Yeah, no, this is great. With the other streetlight study, do you know when we can expect that?
It's in the works, and I hope maybe by April we will be able to come back to you
Okay, cool.
in April, hopefully.
All right, thank you.
That's going to be a little bit more in-depth study because we're actually talking about Georgia Power Lights on that one.
This is just an urgent fix, right?
Right, absolutely.
Anyone else? Would anyone like to make a motion? Just a motion to approve two. Do
To approve 2 lights in Aspen Commons.
you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, great. All right, so
Not-
I'd like to welcome members of the Chambly Doraville CID who've come to speak to us, Malika Rivers and Matt Oppenheimer. Councilmember Simmons, did you want to kick this off?
Yeah, I'll start. Well, I was going to introduce first, so thank you, Mayor, for that. So this item I'm bringing up for discussion is the Peachtree Boulevard intersection realignment. And in the past, we have all seen the renderings of what's been going on, except Councilmember Nasser. I don't think you were here when we first saw this. So everyone else up here has seen it except Councilmember Nasser. So I'll do a brief overview for you so you can understand what I'm talking about. This is the intersection we're trying to, or CID's trying to realign right there by the Lexus dealership and the Chevy, Jim Ellis Chevy, and right there south of 285 on Peachtree.
Porsche on the other side.
Exactly. So right there, it's just a weird intersection. You have 5 or 6 different lights, roads coming all into that one at different times. So they've been working on it for a while. Long story short is they've put up, just a brief overview of what Malika will go over. They put up almost $1 million to get, we're in the design phase, like engineering right away, all that. They've put up almost $1 million and gotten $3.5 million in grants for to get to this 30% design phase. We're trying to get to 60% design phase. And they have talked with getting some grants where they have about $670,000 in grants, and it will be a local match of 20%. And they're trying, in the next 60 days, they have to give a scope of work of whether we're going to do this realignment of this intersection with or without a bridge. That's been the talk. So the realignment of the intersection is one, and then there's a second part of a bridge to connect behind the Porsche dealership, all those neighborhoods getting built over towards Assembly and Lexus and H Mart and all that stuff. So we need to tell, I'll let Malika explain it better, but we need to say whether we want to include the bridge or not in the scope of work. And that's sort of where we're standing.
And there's a request for.
Yeah, there's a request for funds. So if we get $670,000 in grants, there's a 20% local match, and it would go between the CID, Chambly, and Doraville. And that's sort of what we're here to talk about.
Malika?
Council member has just provided all of the comments.
Yeah, real general.
I'm gonna walk you all through it. Anyway, good evening, everybody. It's great to see you again. I'm Malika Rivers. I'm the executive director of the CID, and we have Matt Oppenheimer with us as well, who is president of Halpern Industries and the secretary treasurer of the CID, and he will with additional comments.
And he's Doraville's rep too for the CID. Matt is.
As the council member indicated, the CID has been working on this project. I don't know if you've got iPads in front of you. I do have hard copies of this in case anybody needs a little bit of a closer look. I won't go through describing where the project is again, but I will say that the project does fall on the city line. So it's in both Chambly and it's in Doraville. Since the inception of this project, the CID has acted as the lead agency. We helped initiate the effort. We've secured 2 federal grants already for the project. It has federal funding in the design, right-of-way, and construction phases, but it doesn't have funding in either of those stages. However, we continue to be the lead advocate for this project, and it's going to deliver a critical improvement, both for vehicular movement and safety, but also some operational movements as well. Just a super brief history, when we initiated the project back in 2021, the estimated cost was just under $4 million. At the beginning of the year, we started wrapping our head around what the additional costs are now that we are at 30% design, as previously indicated, and the costs right now are at $22 million. This includes realigning the road, taking that skewed intersection into a traditional 4-way, which helps with the safety. It adds that roundabout on the northern end, which aids with operations. It does include some right-of-way acquisition, but also that gray line that crosses the road, that is a proposed pedestrian bridge. So all in, this project is now $22 million, not just construction, but design, right-of-way, and construction. To date, the CID has been the sole provider of the local match, which is necessary to draw down federal funds. And as council member indicated, we've put about $1 million into this project already. On a $22 million project, that local match is actually in the $4 to $5 million range. So you can imagine the pressure that it puts on an organization's budget that only brings in about $1.2 million a year. That is a pressure that is pretty hefty on our end right now. However, we have, again, secured federal funds, and we intend to continue to chase after federal funds to pay for the bulk of this project. We've got several opportunities on the horizon. I want you to understand that we are very aggressive in chasing down these funds. ARC is the conduit for the federal formula funds. We've already received 2 awards from them, and we will continue to seek additional federal formula funds through the competitive TIP application process, which comes around every 2 years. In the meantime, on a quarterly basis, ARC does do administrative modifications, which allows us to nibble away at additional costs that are coming up. So the TIP, when the TIP is opened, that's the opportunity to apply for millions of dollars, but on a quarterly basis, that's our opportunity to apply for hundreds of thousands of dollars, just to put it in perspective. Also, on the federal funding side, we're chasing after congressional earmarks. We're working with Senator Warnock's office, and we've just submitted for the federal fiscal year 2027 for some additional right-of-way costs. And we are hoping that we get all the way to the finish line. We got to the almost at the end last year, but we were cut by the joint House and Senate committee. On the state side, the state manages some federal funds. Congestion mitigation air quality funds have moved from ARC over to the state. The project already has some CMAQ money in it right now, so it is well set up to receive additional CMAQ money. So that's a good position for us. The state also has the Georgia Transportation Infrastructure Bank, or GTIB. That is a combined grant and loan program, and we have our sights set on that as well. The most promising conversation that we've had so far was one that was just recently had with Commissioner McMurray of the Georgia DOT. We talked about the escalating costs of the project and invited GDOT's input into helping with this financial situation that we're in. We talked about a pathway that is actually very promising, where the commissioner said that if we got the project to 60% design, then he would consider having the state provide local match if we would continue to chase after the federal formula funds. So we are going to take the commissioner up on that offer to keep this conversation going, because it is a state route. The state is, of course, very vested in its performance, and we want to keep that conversation alive. So lots of good opportunities on the horizon. However, we are at an inflection point, and I won't get too technical. I'm going to keep this rather on the briefer side, but essentially with a $22 million project and the local match in the $4 to $5 million range, this is simply putting too much pressure on the CID and our budget that I've outlined earlier. We've identified the biggest opportunity to take the cost of the project from $22 million down to $12 million, and that is to remove the pedestrian bridge. So that is the option that we discussed at our board meeting last week. The next step in the project is to seek the amount of money through the administrative modification process that ARC has to get us to 60% design. The point that we're at right now is that we need to determine, before we go to 60%, before we close out 30%, we need to determine if this bridge is going to stay or if it's not going to be included. So that's the inflection point that we're in right now. If the bridge remains, then the design cost to get us to 60%, not fully designed, to 60% is $834,000. If the bridge is removed, it reduces that $834,000 down to $366,000. So you can see there's a pretty substantial difference, about a $500,000 difference if the bridge stays or not in this next step of the process. Either way, there's a local match. The CID is prepared to put the local match into it that would get us to 60% design without the bridge. That amount comes to $73,300. However, that means the bridge would be removed and the project would continue without the bridge, and we would be looking at a $12 million project that would fix and streamline the roadway. But it would not provide an elevated crossing. It would provide at-grade crossing for non-vehicular users. There's a pathway forward if we do want to keep the bridge in this scope of the project. And that is that if the cities, both Doraville and Chamblee, come together to make up that amount of the local match needed to get us to 60% with the bridge. Without jumping through all the hoops of that match, that additional cost is $93,600. That would be coupled with the CID's $73,300. Altogether, that makes up the 20% of the necessary $834,000. That $93,600, which is the balance needed, could be split in half at a very clean 50-50. That comes to $46,800 for each city. $46,800 is 5.5% of the 834 funding need. So it is a small fraction of that amount. So your leverage is leveraged against the CID. It's leveraged against federal funds through ARC, and it would keep that bridge alive. Now, I can't guarantee that ARC is going to provide us with that funding, but I know that it is within their capacity to do that. And again, ARC has already expressed their commitment to this project since they have already awarded it in each of the development stages. So I'm going to pass this to Matt right now so you can hear a little bit more about it from the board member perspective, but I certainly can answer any questions.
Thank you, Malika. Not really much to add. I think Malika gave a really good summary of the situation. I know it's a lot of information and numbers to digest. I think it boils down to a decision, an inflection point, as Malika said, that we're at right now of whether or not the pedestrian bridge stays part of this project. And, as we've had conversations with our counterparts in Doraville and your counterparts in Chamblee, we understand the bridge is a priority, the pedestrian bridge, excuse me. And so we want to be responsive to that, but the bridge adding $10 million to the project makes it complicated to be as responsive as we'd like to be. But as Malika outlined, I think we have a unique opportunity here for I think a small commitment on the parts of the CID and both cities really leverage the larger funders out there into advancing this project. And particularly the fact that Commissioner McMurray indicated that the GDOT would be willing to be the 20% local match through the duration of this project is a pretty significant commitment, but it makes sense. I mean, this project is a major undertaking on GDOT road, and hard to imagine we get underway on any version of this project and they don't have their hand very heavily in what it looks like. So the idea that they would take ownership of a project in that kind of way, I think is something we put a lot of credence into. And so I'll end my rambling there. I'm sure there's many questions. Malika's probably going to be better at answering them than me, but I'll do my best as well.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Malika.
Can I say one thing, Joseph?
Yeah.
So just to summarize, it's roughly, do we want a bridge or not? And if you do want the bridge, it'd be where would we?
Are you willing to spend $50,000?
Yeah, $46,000 for that bridge for the local match. If we don't want the bridge, then it's a moot point. They'll do the pedestrian crossing and handle it themselves as a CID. Chamblee wants the bridge, is what I heard. So that's sort of roughly the very general.
So have you guys had the conversation with Chamblee? Have they committed 46, what, 800?
We've had the conversation. They understand exactly what I just laid out in the financial pressures. We've spoken to the mayor, city council members, city manager. They're going to take it up in their April city council meeting. So no firm commitment at this point, but they were discussing it.
What's your timeline like when you need this?
It's shorter than 60 days. It needs to be pretty much right. Their city council meeting is April 21st. That gives me a few days to get my ducks in order, depending on what the decisions are by both cities. So we would like to know by April 21st, just using that as the benchmark date so that we can proceed appropriately.
And in your conversation with Commissioner McMurray, did you guys specifically talk about the pedestrian bridge? Because I'm sure that probably is not the top of his concern.
Not the top of his concern. We asked him for two things. We asked him, can we shift this project to you from an administrative standpoint? I should note here that Chamblee is acting as the official project sponsor. The CID is not eligible for these federal awards, so Chamblee has stepped in to be the administrative official project sponsor. Again, the project itself is on a state route. The state route is important. The commissioner has managed lanes coming in. So we asked him for two things, which was, can we shift the entire project over to the state to administer it? And or can you help with the financial issues that we're dealing with here? And he said, you can bring it to us from an administrative standpoint, but we're not going to be able to actually act on it until 2032. So he's talking about years in the future. And then he offered the idea of the state acting as the local match obligating agency if we were to continue to commit to seeking federal funding at that 80%. So he didn't commit to that. He said he was open to that conversation, but offered that as
It really didn't include the conversation about the bridge. It was more kind of global project discussion.
We talked about the bridge in context of its cost relative to the project and the decision points we have to make. He said, and this is worth noting, that if we keep the bridge in the technical concept report right now, then the bridge needs to stay, and that's what needs to be delivered. You cannot remove the bridge afterwards, because then you're inviting a lot of federal hassle into the overall development of the project. He said, if you can remove the bridge now, but you can't add the bridge back to this project and at a later date, again, you're inviting federal hassle. However, if the bridge is removed from this project now, it doesn't mean that it can't be advanced as its own project. So we talked about it from the technical development.
All right. Well, I'll call on the council, but I'm going to give my opinion first. First, I think $10 million, more than $10 million is a lot of money for just a bridge. Even if we get someone else to pay for it, it seems like a huge amount for something that, in general, I think bridges like that make for a worse pedestrian and worse like bike experience. Like you're being kind of shuffled off of the roadway and kind of having to trek around and do a bunch of stuff to get to where you want to go, which can be frustrating in that position. I know a lot of mobility engineers love pedestrian bridges, and that's probably why it got added into this project. And then $80-some thousand from Chamblee and Doraville to keep this bridge alive. I don't necessarily think it's worthwhile, but I think, ultimately it's up to the council to decide, especially because there still will be planning for pedestrians and for people who are not in cars, like for crossings in this. Yeah, which, honestly, as a person who's a pedestrian a lot of the time, is a better better experience in a lot of ways. I get that, being separated from the cars may feel safer sometimes, but it also can be a lot further walk than just crossing the street. So those are my thoughts. We'll start this way and come down. Councilmember Armistead.
Thank you. Do you think that having the bridge in the plan would make it more attractive to funders down the line? Or is that not?
It depends on which pot of money you're chasing after. CMAQ, congestion mitigation air quality, is specifically to reduce vehicle emissions and to improve air quality. So there has to be a multimodal component. It does have CMAQ money in it right now, but that CMAQ money isn't necessarily tied to the bridge. The project itself needs to retain the multimodal aspect at grade and accommodate, safe passage as best we can. Other funding pots that we have right now is STBG, which is a very highway, roadway, vehicular operations specific type of opportunity. I will say that in my conversations putting the application together for Senator Warnock's consideration, his staff was leaned heavily on the idea of public safety. Now, public safety being a broader vehicular as well as multimodal. So I don't think that it makes it less attractive. It just means that we have to be really thoughtful and strategic about the funding sources and what we need to lean into for those sources.
Okay, thank you. I mean, I do like the idea of the bridge. That is a lot of money. As Councilmember Simmons was telling me, it's, this is as cheap as it's ever going to be, because if we ever wanted to go back and build it as a separate project, we'd have to start from square one funding wise. So in that light, 46,000 doesn't sound as bad. But I don't know if there's a way we could commit contingent on Chamblee committing. I mean, what happens if we said yes and they say no, and then everything falls apart at that point?
I think we could commit contingent on their.
Okay. Okay, I don't think I have any more questions. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Our attorney says we can.
Thank you.
Councilmember Evans.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you all for being here. Thank you for the presentation. I've been coming to the meetings for a while now, so I'm quite aware of this project and been in favor of the bridge. I know I think that you all did the study a few years ago that there's roughly 250,000 cars that come down Peachtree Boulevard, excuse me, on a daily basis. So this is just as active, or if not more active, than Buford Highway. And we've never really had that other side of the street by the Porsche dealership activated. But now with the Toll Brothers and other housing projects going on back there, and a potential proposal for more than 400 units in Doraville that I don't know if you're aware of coming, that's not there, plus the Empire, there'll be a lot of pedestrians potentially coming across that street. I guess if the bridge is not there, my first question, even though it's at grade, is there a clear alternative plan on how people would cross, get into the medium and then beyond?
The shorter answer is no, because again, we're at 30% design. All of that clarity will come as it gets to 60% design and gets certainly to 100% design. So at this point, without having the benefit of the design firm with me, I don't think we have that clarity, other than if there's no elevated structure, clearly there needs to be an at grade, and how can we accommodate that need at grade?
Gotcha. I guess my next question is, if Chamblee's the sponsor, does that give them naming rights of this bridge as well?
Yeah.
No. I
Ask.
Are you talking about like putting the Chamblee on the?
You put Doraville on one side, Chamblee on the other.
We have had absolutely no conversations about that. So they're acting as the administrative sponsor of this project for federal eligibility purposes. I can't say how the dynamic of this three-way organizational opportunity will proceed, should it proceed. I think, but all of that, I guess, is conversations that could certainly be had with the financial stakeholders that are involved.
That makes sense. Outside of the bridge, a few questions on the accessibility here on the vehicular side. Coming in towards the turn-in circle, and I think this is on Carver Drive, the going around the bridge to the right-hand side, is that two sharp right turns, or how is that potentially graded to go from the Lexus side of crossing over Peachtree Boulevard and making that right to Carver Drive?
Councilmember Evans, I wish I could respond to that with a technical answer.
Okay,
I just don't.
no worries.
What you're talking about, the bridge?
No, the vehicular on the street
Oh,
On the roundabout.
at the roundabout. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a very hard right. That's why I was asking.
I would only be answering in what I'm saying and what you're saying. I will say that the stage, the technical development stage that we're in, again, keep saying 30% design, but we are at the point where the concept report is at its final comments between DOT's OPD and the design firm, which is Kimley Horn, and they're going back and forth on all of the technical needs that the state is requiring in order to put the state stamp of approval on the concept report so that we can advance to 60%.
Gotcha. That's all my questions from now, but there's one other point I want to make, and I know this is just outside of the project, but the residents at the veranda just past the Lexus dealership down there, past the car dealership, the bridge exit comes past the Lexus dealership, and there's a gap before the sidewalk picks up a veranda. Could that potentially be a part of connecting a sidewalk to reach those residents so they can easily get down that path versus with the bridge there? I can imagine other people using it as well. So
I think that what I can offer is that if you and I talk offline and you provide me with a specific question that can be shared with the design team is better equipped to respond to that.
absolutely. Thank you.
Councilmember Henshaw?
Yeah, thanks for being here. Sorry, I missed the last meeting. I was traveling for work. I always enjoy them. I guess just to clarify, can we have our cake and eat it too? I mean, if we spend the 46,000, are they going to design it both ways? And we're obviously going to pursue the bigger, the bigger amount. But if we get the smaller amount, we can still move forward with the at grade. Is that, or is it the project is completely dead unless they get the full funding for everything?
If I understand the question correctly, if we collectively commit to this match from the cities and the CID, we will be designing one thing specifically, and it would be advancing 60% design plans with a bridge. There would not be any design work done on an at-grade crossing.
Okay.
Is that what you were asking?
Yes, and the reason I'm asking that is obviously, you're doubling the funding to get that bridge essentially, going from 10 to 20 million or, whatever that is. So, the likelihood of a match is significantly less potentially. I know what I know what the current political climate is, but there may still be, talked about the various funding mechanisms for this. So what I wouldn't want to do is pigeonhole us and say, oh, GDOT comes back and says, yeah, it'd be great to have that, but we found you 10 million. Do you want to move forward? And you say, oh, we can't. We have to have the bridge. And I don't know if that seems short-sighted or not. So I just don't know how that works.
These are great questions. Part of it is technical, part of it is procedural, part of it is political. The best option or the most desirable option that we would like to pursue is get this project to 60% design with or without the bridge, and then invite Georgia DOT to participate as much as possible. And the commissioner might say, okay, maybe only on the local match side and, because I can't take it on until 2032, or he might offer something else. I just don't know. So that means I don't know what the future holds in terms of where we are right now at 30%. Are there additional cost escalations at 60 or 100%? Are we going from 22 to 25 or 30? I can't answer any of those questions. And all of that requires thoughtful consideration if we get to that point. And again, the deliverability from a local standpoint, and by local, I'm talking specifically about the cities as well as the CID. If the CID is left to be the only local participant, then we've already shared where the CID board is with that. We have other projects that we'd like to pursue, and we can't put all of our financials into one project. I'd like to go back to one comment that Matt was answering, which again, if I'm understanding it correctly, it is not going to be the case where if the bridge remains, we are also designing at grade with medians and crosswalks and all of that.
No,
I
no,
don't believe that will be.
No, it wasn't asking for both simultaneously from a construction perspective, but more of having both designs in place, or at least preliminary designs in place, so that if a pot of funding comes available for the smaller amount, that you could move forward and then do the bridge at a second phase.
The inside baseball is that if the concept report includes the bridge, the feds require you procedurally to continue to move forward with that. Now, is it possible it gets valued engineered out? I guess so, but I can't respond to that.
That's
There's not two
legitimate,
separate sets.
understandable. Yeah, I understand. I hate to reach for everything and not get anything. That being said, I don't really have much of an opinion on whether haven't done enough research whether an at-grade crossing or a bridge crossing is more beneficial for pedestrians. I know from a vehicular standpoint, it's about a 60-second crosswalk where you're stopping all traffic for 60 seconds, and to do that every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever it's going to wind up being, I think that would put a burr in, GDOT's side. I would think they would be very upset to have to stop that road at however many cars it is, 100,000 cars a day, whatever it is, every few minutes. And I would think that would drastically change their opinion of the project from a vehicular standpoint. And that's what GDOT's goal is, obviously, is moving cars, not moving people. So I'd be curious to see what their opinions are. And it's a shame they won't get a little more vested in it, not monetarily, but just even interest-wise, until you deliver a bigger package. But I'm in favor of pursuing it. I think it's we're going to have 900 at the Toll Brothers, 900 units plus another 90 at Empire, plus another potentially 400. So, it's a significant amount of, pedestrian connectivity with Assembly and our downtown. And this is also would be connecting into Chambly's rail trail and down to their downtown. So, I haven't talked to any of the other council members at Chambly for it, but I think it's a good idea. So I'd be happy to throw Doraville throw the 46,000 at it. But
I've shared the CID board's position on this. One of the considerations that I think maybe is in the minds of the city of Chambly council mayor is the ongoing effort, of which we're a small part of the top end trail networks, and I think we participate in, as I said, in a very small capacity in that, and that's a many year long endeavor. But having the pedestrian bridge there, I think, allows for much more sort of fluid connectivity, not just for all of the homes you mentioned on one side and everything going on the Doraville and Chambly sides on the other, but more of a regional play. But again, that's still many years in the making. I don't know if you have any other comments.
No, that's exactly right. We are talking about this from a local context. There is an effort from a regional context to put a multi-use trail all along the top end. And this would be the point in this area that would get people across 140.
I would also say maybe the CID at Assembly might be willing to throw something at this at some point in the future. I don't know. They obviously have their own fish to fry, but this would be very important from them from a pedestrian standpoint. But yeah, I've played Frogger on that exact intersection, and it is exceptionally dangerous. And
It would be different though when it's
oh yes, but it still isn't pretty. It's 10 lanes, even redesigned, and that's just a nightmarish crossing. But it would be better either way. So I'm in favor, but I can understand if other council members aren't. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Nasser.
who gets to decide the bridge is gonna be staying or not? Are the Chambly, Doraville, or Dunwoody?
If it's.
The bridge, yeah.
It's us, it's like if, whether we in Chambly pay the $46,000 each.
Chambly's acting, I think it's fair to say Chambly is, to characterize their participation as administrative, again, for the federal eligibility, but they're looking to us to continue to be the lead agency on the major decisions, certainly at this stage in the game. Again, our situation is that if the cities don't come to the table with additional commitments for the bridge, we just can't commit to the $10 million position that it has.
And so it will cost us 46,000 some cents
46,800.
Without
for
a
the
bridge.
Design.
for the design.
From Doraville and Chambly.
After that, how much will be a Doraville cost? How much?
It's 46,000.
Yeah.
After that, how
After
much
that.
more will we have to contribute?
Yeah.
And I think that's unknown, right?
It's unknown. Again, we've had conversations with the commissioner of the DOT where he put on the table a potential pathway where the state picks up local matches going forward. So it could be.
Could be zero if that way.
There's nothing.
There's no guarantee.
But there's no guarantee of what the situation is, and I can't predict what the future is. I just know that we're at an inflection point of including the bridge or not including the bridge because of the financial issues.
And to add to that, and as you've heard numerous times tonight, there's a lot unknown in the future of this project or any major project like this, but there is a whole alphabet soup of dollars out there, federal, state, otherwise, that Malika enumerated earlier, that based on the outcomes of how each of the next few steps play out will be places we will absolutely be going to fund this project. But the best case scenario, as outlined, is GDOT, once we get to 60%, picks up the local match, federal funds through the ARC for the federal portion, and we have a new intersection and a bridge.
I'm trying to understand how much is going to benefit our city,
Mhm.
spending all this money towards that project, which is sponsored by Chambly.
Sure.
And every dollar is very valuable for us because we are building our city center.
Mhm.
Every dollar we have, we can do much more in our city center. Right now, this is our main focus.
Mhm.
Also, the same bridge, we have more fatality on Beaufort Highway. We rather have built a bridge over at Beaufort Highway than spending money somewhere else. Those are our dreams at this moment. We have a lot of dreams. I like to do a lot of things, but we don't have the budget and money to do everything that I wanted.
Sure.
So in order to do that, I have to think that how much is going to cost us now, how much is going to cost us later, and is it going to be how much beneficiary for our city? And plus, what we're going to put, I mean, since it's a Chambly sponsored project, why can't they do the whole thing?
I can't speak to some of those political conversations, but the project does span both cities. I think I can't give you concrete information, but I can help frame it. Again, based on a $22 million project, the local match is in the $4 to $5 million range. That I'm using terminology local match, but it actually includes not only the 20% local match, but also some components of the project are not federally eligible. They have to be picked up locally. So that's maybe an upside or a cap of 5 million-ish. The CID's already put $1 million into that. So we're, take that $1 million out of 5 million, you're looking at 4 million. So based on the 22, there's a need of about $4 million. We're going to try to seek Georgia DOT's pathway to pick up the costs associated with a large portion of that, or all of it, if that's a opportunity forward. But I can't promise that right now. And I do know that of that $4 million that I just outlined, it is beyond the CID's capacity to commit to that. So we're looking to cost share based on what we know right now. And what we know right now is the gap funding or the gap needed to get to 60% and how the math works out there. But there could be other financial commitments that are needed from the local community. If that is a one-way commitment, meaning one agency, or if it's a three-way, I just don't know at this point. But I would say 4 million is your top end, around about.
Well, I mean, I do like the design, but if we can move forward without a bridge, that will probably, I mean, I like to see the developments going around, connectivity, but bridge would be too much. It's too expensive. Actually, cost-wise, it's too expensive, unless otherwise you can find the funding to, I mean, right at this moment, I'm focusing on our city center. I'll be honest.
It's expensive, absolutely.
It's very expensive. It's like almost double the cost.
If we agree to keep the bridge alive, we would continue to do exactly what we're doing now, which is to seek out all funding sources possible. We just need to make a decision right now because of the technical procedural issues, if this bridge is staying or going. Because it matters in terms of.
It's just up to Doraville and Chamblee on the bridge itself. Councilmember Ray?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for the presentation and the information. First, I think maybe I just didn't catch all of something. Did you mention the ARC potentially providing any sort of matching or anything like that?
Yes, ARC is the conduit for federal formula funds. So the way to think about that is ARC could supply the 80% while the local matches the 20%.
I see. Okay.
And ARC has already awarded 2 different times for this project.
Okay.
ARC is very clearly stated they're committed to this project, but they're not going to dictate exactly what the project's going to look like.
Of course. And they've, you know, when they made the initial commitments, that was with the idea of a bridge being there.
No, they are not committed to a bridge. There are 2 sources of federal funding. One is STBG, Surface Transportation Block Grant. Those are pretty traditional, flexible funding category. The other is CMAQ, Congestion Mitigation Air Quality. That one leans more heavily into multimodal. So in order to maintain both of those pots of money, and specifically the CMAQ pot, we need to make sure that the project is providing some multimodal capacity. The only other alternative, if not elevated, is at grade.
Understood.
And I haven't been directly interfacing with ARC in the way Malika has, but it has not been my impression that their commitment to this project was based on a bridge or not, there not being a bridge. It was, you know, the planning and illustration of a bridge has not come until much more recently as we've gotten to the 30% stage.
Okay.
I think they and we all along have been most focused on the vehicular.
Yeah, and I guess my curiosity was just if they had already been presented with the idea of a bridge and they were still interested in it. I think that's telling that they're at least open to the idea and it's not going to disqualify their interest.
Matt's correct.
Okay.
We need to make sure that we try to protect the money that we do have there. Again, we need our engineers to.
Of course. Slight twist on the question Councilmember Armistead asked, where she said if it makes it, you know, more attractive for funding, but does having a pedestrian bridge potentially open up other grant opportunities that are like specifically focused on multimodality outside of the funding you've already mentioned? Do we feel that it might grow the pot we can try to reach into?
There are others. The state has regional trails program. Those are small, honestly. the amount that they award are in the $200,000, $300,000 range. The federal funds that ARC awards on the formula side can be in the 4 to 10 million.
Sure. Okay. But it would open up at least some potential other, even if it's not huge. Okay, I guess my general thoughts on this is that this is a chance to show if we're serious about making the city more walkable or not. It's not committing to spending that much, but 46,800, it sounds like it's basically an immediate return on investment with what it unlocks funding wise to get the 60% design. We've seen with recent grant opportunities we've done as a city that having designs at the ready help get further grants. We're putting 500 plus residents over there. And I think not at least keeping the bridge opportunity open is showing that we're not that serious about safe pedestrian crossings. I think crossing across 10 lanes, multiples of these lanes are going to have people either knowing they just have to yield and not looking for pedestrians because it's such a large highway. Others, I know when I try to come out from that Lexus side, you know, you're craning your neck to the left because you're trying to see if you have an opening to go. So you're not looking for pedestrians there. I don't have a study in front of me, but I think intuitively we can say that a pedestrian crossing like a bridge is going to be safer for that and unlock people's mobility to get over there and to trails. I think on the whole, I'm in favor of it. Like you guys said, it's not necessarily locking us into a bridge long term. I would be okay making it contingent on Chamblee also paying that in. But I think this is, one, showing those residents, but also showing that we have, a real commitment to walkability. And looking long term, I know it's, a $10 million adder, but DeKalb County is not a small player in the political sphere. I think it's going to be an attractive project for senators and Congress members to try to earmark some funds for in the end. So those are my thoughts, but I would be in favor of putting in the 46,000, at least getting to 60% designs, especially considering the return on investment. And then if there's no path forward from there, then we'll know. But I think if we remove it now, there's never going to be a time to come back and get funding to add a bridge later. I think it's pretty much now or never, in my opinion. So thank you.
Right. So Councilmember Simmons, I think you kicked us off, but it sounds like there's a consensus to move forward with a vote on this. Is there anything else you want to, we haven't voted today. I think we need to probably have Cecil put something together, come back to us. We have the deadline that
21st, so
that
we'll
they
have
need,
another
so I would
meeting.
probably say, don't make him rush to next week, but just have it in our meeting in a month.
No, I think that's good. I wanted to bring it to this meeting so we could sit there and marinate and think on it. It's April 21st date that I heard is great. That gives us another meeting. So I think it's good. You guys got to listen to it. If we have more questions, we can ask. Just wanted to make a few just comments. Well, first of all, thank you for coming in to present to us. I greatly appreciate that. But to the mayor's point about, sort of being at street level and crossing, that does feel better. And I do like that. But, this is more of a different intersection. It's not an intersection I would want to stay at grade at with, as Councilmember Ray said, with 8 to 10 lanes crossing. It's just it's a different beast. And
They're turning it into a four-way stop though.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a much better.
I understand.
intersection.
and
I think we're making a decision to make this a more car-oriented project. And so that's why I wanted to.
No, I understand. I was just saying, just my thoughts on it. Councilmember Henshaw made a good point about making, if it was a crosswalk there, it would stop up everything. And I wonder if that could be sort of a talking point to Georgia DOT to help out a little more, and then also, like the council member Nassar was talking about the bridge. It's funny, the bridge is actually in Doraville. Everything we're talking about, he said it's more Chamblee, but the bridge is actually in Doraville. So, I think that's why we got really skin in the game. And that's another reason of why I'd want to go 50% on the design so we could have 50% say so on naming the bridge, design of the bridge, all that. If you go less on percentage, you really don't have much say so in my mind. Also, I've spoken to Assembly about helping out with some of this. I'm just waiting to hear back. So I will get back to you guys. I spoke to them last week just about talking points because a lot of this intersection is getting redone because a lot of traffic is coming into Assembly and will come into Assembly. You know, like if we didn't have Assembly as much, we might not be here at this table talking about this intersection and realigning it. So I have reached out to Jay about that. Hilton was in London and he needs to get back to Jay about it, but I have spoken to them. Oh, sorry about that. And then for Chamblee taking lead, one city had to take lead for this project, and we thought Chamblee had more capacity to take the lead on this project instead of Dorville. It could have been Dorville or Chamblee, just since they were bigger. That's sort of why they took lead on this project compared to Dorville, because we don't have the staff compared to Chamblee on this. Just wanted to clarify that, but thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you both for being here. We will definitely vote on this before April 21st, and you should be hearing from our staff shortly after that. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Riveting night for you.
So Councilmember Nasser is next on the agenda about something we had done in years past. We've kind of gotten away from it, but Councilmember?
Thank you, Mayor. So this year, our inflation is high. A lot of people are struggling to pay their daily bill, daily life, and paying for gas and everything. They're paying so much. So my goal is to achieve those neighbors, those residents who are struggling to pay or repair their house or anything that related to the house in their residence. That will take the burden off if we can do if we can at least waive the permit fee. They still need a permit, but the fee, if we can waive it, that will help the residents to make more improvements in their house. So that's gonna help throughout the city. So I would really appreciate it if all the council agree to it, and if we can do it for 3 months from May, June, and July, that would be the better month, unless if anyone has any better idea to move it around.
Okay, well, let's see. Councilmember Simmons?
No, I think it's a great idea. I'm definitely in favor in helping out. It's not that too big of an ask. Just my questions would be, well, one point for me is it'd have to be a homestead exemption house for someone. You say resident, but I want to make sure it's not some landlord that says they're a resident or something. They have to have homestead exemption.
That's fine.
For it to be fair, because we're trying to help our residents, which is what you're trying to do. And that's sort of our avenue, I believe, unless there's something else to know that they're actually the resident there at that house. And then I think it's, a question that came across my mind when I read it was the cost for staff and third party to still do the permit stuff. And I just think it's minimal. And I think helping out the residents in this point for what you're talking about far outweighs that minimal cost. So no, I'm in favor.
Heard from 2 people tonight who were in favor of it, right? So during public comment.
Oh, yeah.
Councilmember Henshaw?
Yeah, I'm surprised we hadn't done it because I know we'd voted on this in the past, and it's a good idea. I mean, I agree that it shouldn't be for home builders that are building multiple homes and large scale developments, but for single family projects, even small amounts of money can go a long way. So yeah, I'm in favor of it. I think the 3-month window is fine. Your suggested window is fine.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and I don't know why. I guess we skipped it last year just because we weren't paying attention. But yeah, sorry about that last year. But I know we've done it many years in the past. So thank you for bringing this back up.
Councilmember Evans?
I concur. I think I'm glad we're bringing it back. I just want one caveat, and maybe this is a question for Cecil. Could it be for all homes, even if they're not homestead exemption, if we have rental properties that want to improve it for the tenants that live there? I mean, I'm in favor of that.
I think that's a decision for council to make, because that was what, I don't know that we had that requirement before, but they just had to say they lived there, but
Yeah, I think,
Councilmember Evans wants everyone to do it. So I guess just give your pitch.
yeah, just anybody who wants to make home improvements on their property, whether they live there or they own a property and rent it out, or they're building something new, permit is waived, period. That's to improve the properties as they may see fit.
I guess like, let me just ask you really quick, like I guess like typically this benefit is supposed to be for the, help out homeowners to improve their property. Like this kind of helping out like landlords who are charging their tenants for the, fees and stuff. So
I get that.
That's like me getting my permits.
it's like you're giving the business owner help when they're already, making money off their property.
Are they making improvements for the tenants that live there?
Wow.
Well, they're trying to do it so they can raise their price more. Like, that's what I would be doing.
I can't speak.
And they can afford, I can speak, I'm one of them.
I think it's a good question. It's a good
great.
thing for us to
Yeah.
to weigh. So
Well, I'll defer to Councilmember Nasser to see your opinion on it this is your item.
Well, I agree with Councilmember Warren, because they're making money, so they shouldn't be free. It shouldn't be free for them. Those residents who are struggling, so which is the residents like us or whoever owns the house, their main home only, not second, third, fourth, or some people have maybe, I don't know, 20. Just, they cannot have all those exemption on all the houses. Basically, your main house, the way you stay, where you resides, where you get your tax exemption, those houses. If we can include 501c, somebody wanted charges or something, if that's the only thing. Other than that, no, I will strictly stay with the residents only.
yeah, your whole cul-de-sac could get redone.
I know, exactly. That's what I was saying. Like, they can afford it. The landlords that rent that, they can afford, because it's not like we're charging a lot. Have you seen our fees? We've already had that talk before. Like, I think we charge way too less, or too minimal, however you want to say.
But you're okay if it doesn't? Okay. Councilmember Ray.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the sentiment of this and I'm not against it. I definitely agree with the idea of homestead exemptions. I had a chance to email Austin about this today. I would rather us maybe postpone this a month and think through it. I've got some questions. Austin brought up that we've done this before, and what it resulted in was an influx of permit applications. But the issue with that is because they're coming from homeowners, what typically happens is they don't have all of the documents they need. So it actually ups staff time without, without the additional staff there. They submit a hand drawing of a deck or something they want to do, and then staff has to spend all this extra time. Additionally, to Councilmember Warren's point, I think there should maybe be a cap at some point with it. If a homeowner comes and says, hey, I want to do a $100,000 addition to my home, are we going to waive the permitting fee on that when they can clearly afford it if they're doing that type of addition? I really do like that this is aimed at helping people with inflation, encouraging people to invest in their properties and improve it. But I just have kind of more questions than answers right now. And Austin's not here to kind of answer half of the questions about how it's going to affect that department. And I'd rather us not rush into it with a blanket 3 months without having thought through it already.
We're not going to vote on anything tonight.
Okay.
It'll be for next month anyway.
Right.
So, I think there should be time to have further conversation before
For
we
sure.
vote on it.
On the whole, I like the idea in general of trying to reduce permitting costs for homeowners up to a certain point or not, but I would like to get some input from the planning department and all of that as well. So, Councilmember Nasser, I'm definitely cool with you pursuing this, but those are kind of some of my points. And what I'm curious about is, do we want to have a cap that after a certain point, this project costs enough that it is going to be a significant strain on our department and we have to charge for it? On the other hand, do we want to have a cap that for certain types of projects, a deck or a shed, that we do cap what a permit cost, or we make it free for 3 months, whatever else? But that's my concerns with kind of just an overall blanket removal of permitting fees, is I think it can put a lot of stress on staff, and I want us to make sure we think through those. So
We have done that before many, many years. That's why I brought it back. When I was in council, we done it for 4 years. And after that, I'm not sure what happened. So I'm trying to bring it back. It will help. Best of my knowledge, we didn't put any cap last time when we did it. Didn't raise much issues, but
I think
zero.
I think that like we can ask staff to look at it, and maybe you can talk with, if council goes out with it, you could talk to Austin about what the challenges are. I think we did have a limit at some point, like some sort of upper limit in one of the times that we did this, in terms of it was certain types of permits, like there's a specific list of, it's these types of permits. It's not, I don't think you could do a new home construction or.
well, and I'm talking, but like, I'm just trying to point out details I'm concerned with. Like if it's a like huge home addition, not even like new home construction, and I know we've done in the past. I did talk to Austin. He says it does create a strain on our planning department at times. So I want to just make sure we're considering staff needs and city needs. And, I did some math. Sometimes the residential permitting fees make up over 50% of our permitting fees that month. So just making sure we're capturing all of these details, because there is work involved in people going out and inspecting these things and all of that. So some cap on the CapEx of a project, I think at the very least would make a lot of sense.
Well, let's let Councilmember Armistead speak, and then we can ask Chief to.
I agree with that. I think I'd like to see a cap of whatever we come to an agreement with Austin. But yeah, generally, I think it's a good idea. Did we do 3 months in the past?
In 3 months.
Okay, like a fee-free summer kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to pursue it with input from planning.
Chief, do you have any comments you want to add to that?
Say that I can get with Austin and we'll find out what we've done in the past. But if memory served me, I thought we only applied it to specific permits.
It was specific things. It was very specific, and they were kind of low dollar type things. And maybe there is a lot of staff time, but the things that they were, I would think there wasn't that much to it. But
We'll look into it and get that information for you.
Okay. All right. So I guess in terms of like getting it, maybe the council can get something to potentially vote on in April, like the first meeting in April.
Oh, yeah.
And we can have a discussion at that time as well. And hopefully there's enough time between now and then for any other back of house questions to be asked.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. All right, so we are at the end of our meeting. We are not going to have an executive session this evening. We will, I think we'll have one next week. So we're going to go straight to council comments. I know Councilmember Nasser had some things, so we'll start with you.
Thank you, all the residents. I appreciate it for you to listen to us this evening. The reason I'm talking about CID, we are building, as I said, we are building our city center. It's a lot for us, for Doraville, to represent our Doraville the best possible way we could, and every single dollar is precious for us. Whatever we can save, I'm not against any development coming to our city or anything. I like to see more developments comes. I like to see our city improves. I like to see our city thrives. At the same time, we have to be wise with every single dollar we spend. I rather see a bridge connecting our going over Beaufort Highway. That's where more fatality. People struggling to cross the bridge, across the road. Our city center is going to be built. I rather see a bridge up there that connects our neighborhood to the city and city hall. I know it's a lot of cost. If we can fund a Chambly project, why can't we do ours? I rather have more our council members or CID or whatever best possible way we can accomplish that. Maybe we should look into it. And thank you so much for listening to us.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Henshaw?
No comments other than congratulations and welcome to the most amazing 2 hours of your life moving forward.
Councilmember Simmons?
Thanks, Mayor. Healthy Pets event over at Assembly was February 28th. It was a great turnout. It was great weather. We vaccinated over 1,000 cats and dogs that day. It was 1,093, I believe, and it was done in record time with no incidents, no cat scratches, no dog bites, no loose cats, no fights in line, no cutting in line. So it was a great event. Thanks to all that showed up and all the tables out there, like the Dorville seniors and library and all that stuff. So it was great. Also, we got Bella's Blessings. It's our pet pantry box. So they launched their first pet blessing box with a first and fill community ribbon cutting is going to be April 10th at Brook Park. So Nana is the steward of the first pet pantry, a blessing box here in Dorville, and it's going to take place at Brook Park on April 10th. It's from 11 to 1. So, and Bella's Blessings is the Georgia nonprofit dedicated to helping pets stay with the families who love them during times of financial hardship. And they're inviting the community to join the unveiling of their first pet blessing box at a first and fill ribbon cutting event on Friday, April 10th, 2026 in Dorville, Georgia. So come one, come all. And again, that is April 10th, 11 to 1. The ribbon cutting will be at 11:30. There'll be light refreshments there. Great music playing, and Brook Park is located at 2651 Brook Park Way in Dorville.
And that's on a Friday?
Yes, it's on a Friday. And if you'd like to bring anything to stock the blessing box, you could bring dry and canned food, 5 pounds or less if possible. Treats, chews, leashes, collars, bowls, and toys. And for more information, visit www.petblessingboxes.org. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Evans?
Thanks, Mayor. Great meeting, everyone. Northwoods United Methodist Church is having their 71st anniversary in Northwoods at 2635 Fairlane Drive. That's this Sunday, starting at 10:30. So if you're available to go out, they'll have a Easter egg hunt and some other events going on around that, but it is their 71st year being in the city of Dorville. Well, annexed now. So,
I think they were part of Dorville.
they were part of it. You're right. Shantae, thank you for applying for that $1 million grant with Senator Warnock's office. And to Kim and our Parks and Recs Department for the $1,000 grant that was received. Awesome to that. Kudos to our officers that saved lives, saved the baby's life. That was amazing. Our new Assistant Chief, Dayet. I almost didn't want to say it, but I'll get it right. Congratulations to you for your promotion. And then I went to support Mayor Geierman, Simmons, and Olmsted at the Dorville 101 yesterday. That was a great turnout. So if you haven't been yet, please support that Dorville 101 to learn about what's happening in the city. And that session was on elected officials, right? And the mayor has a new State of the City video, which is
Coming out
fire.
soon. Coming out soon.
Fire. And shout out to our communications department. The booklet for the newsletter looks great. You can actually flip through it like a digital book version, and it makes sounds, and it's pretty cool. So I think that's it. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Ray.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see. Good job on the Healthy Pets event. That was awesome. Same day, we also got to plant some trees in Chicopee Park. I know I saw the mayor out there. If anyone hasn't been yet, go check him out. Got some big old river birches and some other things as well. And then I had a list, but I think I'll just give a big shout out to all of the staff. I think you guys have been doing a great job across the board. We heard from the police department today, what Shantae's doing, Parks, Chris with the public works stuff and the safety. I mean, just everyone seems to be firing on all cylinders right now, and it's great to see. And thank you all for your work.
Thank you. Councilmember Armistead.
Thank you. Agreed. Thank you guys. Great job and congratulations. on your promotion. And I just wanted to remind you all, I don't actually know what the weather's supposed to be like this weekend. I'm going to be out of town, but if it's nice, or even if it's not, there's a cleanup on Saturday morning, the 14th at the McClave entrance to Beaufort Highway in Northwoods. There's another one on March 21st to clean up Gordon Heights, and then another one on April 11th to clean up the community garden. So if you feel the need to get out and do some yard work, plenty of opportunities. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Well, would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.